Good evening. Welcome to Saturday's Look North. A father whose son took his own life is now petitioning the government to introduce a Suicide Prevention Act. Suicide is the biggest killer of people under 35 in the UK. Phillip from Harrogate has been telling Olivia Richwald about his son Jordan. Steve believes suicide should no longer be a taboo subject.
Jordan was, by most people's estimations, a good-looking lad. He was 6 foot tall and had a huge network of friends. He had a lovely girlfriend, a loving family. He had a great job. He was an officer with the Independent Office of Police Conduct. He had his own house. He was very much the kind of guy that his friends would look up to and aspire to be. But what a lot of people didn't see underneath, unfortunately, was that he was suffering from clinical anxiety and depression.
Jordan Phillip took his own life in December 2019. He was 34. His father Steve now campaigns to prevent other families from enduring the pain and loss that he still feels every day.
Before I go to bed, I'll come in and have a chat with him and tell him how the day's gone, and it's kind of just become part of my ritual and routine, I suppose. It's kind of important to me because it really does feel like I'm having a conversation with Jordan.
The Jordan legacy has one goal: to prevent people from taking their own lives. Steve thinks that a Suicide Prevention Act would help the UK move towards his dream of a zero-suicide society.
We lose 6,000 plus people every year, 17 to 18 people every single day. It's the biggest killer of young people under 35. All the research and evidence suggests that most suicides are preventable.
What would you say to anyone, Steve, who's worried about a family member?
We know to ask people, how are you doing, are you okay? But I think it's important to ask it more than once and really ask with a point of wanting to hear the answer as well. And I think if you have any concerns at all, you've got to be prepared maybe to ask the question, which is a really difficult question to ask, are you having thoughts of suicide?
Did you ever talk to Jordan about suicide?
No. No, and I think you know, when I look back and see the signs that I see now, there were clear opportunities where I could have asked that question. All the evidence suggests that, in fact, when you ask someone that question, you don't plant the seed in their mind. In fact, it's often a real relief that someone has finally recognised the struggle that person's going through. So potentially you will save a life by asking that really difficult question.
Steve now travels around the country, running workshops and speaking at conferences, spreading the message of suicide prevention. He's also planning a major conference later this year. Olivia Richwald, BBC Look North, Harrogate.